From the Bob Mills Weather Center, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
Hard to think of anything green if you were last night on Interstate 40. Sequoia Quinton, one of our storm trackers, got this video. This was Interstate 40. Interstate 40 from Henrietta back on over toward the Shakota area. It just pretty much had to be shut down. Heavy, wet snow across the area. That caused several semis to jackknife and run off the road. We had several cars as well shutting down the interstate for a while. We had to get a lot of first responders to get out there and wrecker services to help out. So that was kind of an important thing. Also, with such a heavy wet snow, we did have a lot of power outages reported, mainly because of just the weight that was on a lot of those trees. So again, what a night it was. And contrast that with today when Osage Sky News 6 made a trip right on down to that same area. Roadways were much improved. Snow cover was still showing up. This was about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So again, there's still a lot of snow hanging out on the roads just to the south of Tulsa. And that is going to make it a little bit colder for you guys tonight, especially with clearing skies. But notice the roads. It was like, what happened? You wouldn't even know it happened. All right, well, the snow did happen, and we had a lot of it. Anywhere from 4 to 6 to up to 7 inches. A couple of ice areas were up to 8 inches, especially the higher elevations in the mountains of southeast Oklahoma. Up to 16 inches in some of the mountainous terrain in northwestern Arkansas. And then we had our notorious donut hole, which basically had nothing going on just because of the thermal pretty much of the thermal atmosphere and how it was described in terms of temperature across the area. We had that showed up at 5 o'clock with meteorologist Stephen Nairns, but again, it just had everything to do with temperature. And so that could have had some influence. Some people say, was it that heat island you're always talking about? Not necessarily. But anyway, hey, we wanted to share this. This came from Amber in Kansas, Little Kansas, Oklahoma, off east of Tulsa. Had enough time to make a couple good snowmen. So there was some good news for some. Again, for the kids here in the Tulsa area, not so good. Brandy sent this in from Locust Grove. And down in Shakota, Jerry was out feeding animals. And tonight, around the area, we have partly cloudy skies, setting ourselves up for a cold night. We're sitting at 40 right now, 67% humidity. Temperatures are in the 30s. They'll be in the 20s by morning. Very frosty across the region. Much of Oklahoma, similar story right now. We have a few clouds that will be filtering in, but for the most part, partly cloudy in the morning to clear. Upper 20s in a few areas like around the metro area in southeast Oklahoma, and then generally low to mid 20s. As I said, very frosty. A few clouds through the course of the day. So we're not going to struggle, but it's not going to warm up much different than it did today. Upper 30s to low 40s. Have another chilly start on Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon our temperatures jump into the 50s. You have to enjoy Friday and Saturday, because things go south after that. We're going to see a few showers maybe developing Saturday morning in southeast Oklahoma. We'll generally be in the 30s to low 40s, and then we get a shot of reasonable weather, 50s to 60s. But look at these blue arrows. This is the precursor to cold Arctic air. That'll set us up for some really nasty weather, some freezing drizzle potential for the morning. Not much, but enough to just all of a sudden we're going to go back to winter. These are the high temperatures on Sunday. After being near 60 on Saturday, we'll be lucky to be around freezing on Sunday. And then that also leads to that chance, a little bit of freezing drizzle. And then we have another shot that'll be coming up on Tuesday or Wednesday. Probably one of the biggest things, though, is our extended outlook is we're bottoming out in several locations. I mean, we're going to be lucky to be near normal, so don't expect a whole lot of grand news in terms of warm weather to kick off February. It all has to do with the jet stream and a couple of storm systems. We'll have that first one coming in as a cold front comes in for basically Sunday morning. And then it's relatively quiet, but on Tuesday, there's enough moisture that could be some rain or snow mix, kind of a winter pattern, and it's an active winter cold pattern. Yeah, be ready. All right, 33 in Tulsa, 20s already in the outlying areas at 9 o'clock. We'll be in the 20s. And again, this is mainly the heart of Tulsa. If you're in outlying areas, low to mid 20s. Frosty start 38 at noontime, and then extend the forecast out. And we're seeing the temperatures, the next 3 days, pretty reasonable. After that, I don't want to count, but I see 6 days that are not all that reasonable till maybe next Friday. We could stay below freezing for like 3.5 days next week. So this is some seriously cold air.